Welcome to Mastering Content Creation on LinkedIn, hosted by Toko Academy. I am so excited to see every one of you here. I'm excited to be here as well. And my name is Peace Godwin, and I'll be your anchor for today's exciting session. So today's webinar is all about learning how to create impactful LinkedIn content and to grow professional audience and strengthen your personal brand.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel Ishaku. Again, you're very much welcome to this webinar today. We are very excited about today's webinar and what we're going to be learning. Toko Academy is a digital skills training academy based here in Yola, specifically in Jimeta, Adamawa State, in the northeastern part of Nigeria. And we are very passionate people. We are very committed and dedicated to equipping individuals across Africa with relevant digital and professional skills through practical, accessible, and affordable training programs, both online and offline, one of which is this very webinar that we are part of today. This is our vision. This drives us. This is something that we wake up every morning hoping that we're able to achieve to make an individual better in the area of digital skills or their professional skills so that they are better equipped for their workplaces or their businesses. So Toko Academy is committed to this vision. Our mission is to empower Africa with hands-on digital skills, a mentorship that transforms lives, careers, and communities through professional, corporate, and executive training, workshops, boot camps, mentorship programs, events, seminars, and community-driven projects. And at Toko Academy, we're really serious about being hands-on. So all our programs are very practical. We ensure that we work with you one-on-one. We ensure that when you take a course or when your organization is being trained by us, it is as practical as possible. We have a lot of people who are training online already. And so the world does not need one more online training institute. The world does not need one more tutorial video. People need somebody who would work with them, who will hold their hands and walk the journey with them. And that's one thing that we want to stand out for. So it is to have practical and hands-on mentorship for our participants, for our attendees, for any program whatsoever they engage or interact with us. Okay. Now, of course, our target audience is a very broad spectrum of people. We have children. In the month of August, about a month plus ago, we concluded our kids' summer coding class, and we trained a total of about 70 or so children, combining our on-site, on-campus, and off-campus learning centers, some of which we had to partner with schools to teach at their facilities. It was a very, very exciting time with the children. They learned how to code for the first time for some of them, and they learned how to build their games. Some of them learned graphic design, some web development. And we also seek to reach out to students on campus right now to help them with their learning process as they learn in the universities. We accept SciWest interns and the likes, both at our centers and remotely to learn and grow with us as they are on their journey of getting a degree, either at the university, a polytechnic, or wherever they find themselves as students. We also reach out to job seekers and working professionals, both to learn a skill for the first time or to upgrade their skill wherever they are. We hope that they become better persons, and that is one thing that drives us, again, here at Toko Academy. Anybody who is seeking to improve on existing skill sets or anybody who is lacking any digital skill set at all is also somebody we are out here creating platforms for. So that's it about Toko Academy. Our website will be shared on the chat section. It is www.tokoacademy.org. And over there, you get to find out more about what we do, who we are, and how you can partner with us or how you could enroll for one of our courses or programs. Thank you very much.
That was really wonderful. So if you're here and you're looking for a place to upskill or learn digital skills, Toko Academy is the place for you. All right, I'm so excited because our speaker is here already. I'm sure that just like me, you also cannot wait to hear from her. Our speaker, Miss Bitswill Time Dashe, is a dynamic marketing executive and digital strategist, passionate about the intersection of creativity, technology, and social impact. With expertise spanning SEO, design, data analytics, and AI tools, she empowers individuals and brands to grow through smart, data driven storytelling. A dedicated SDG advocate and educator, Beetle inspires others to harness digital innovation and for meaningful change across Africa. Without further ado, please help me welcome Ms. Beetle. Just send some love emoji or something. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Peace, for that introduction. I think this is my cue to start, yeah?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. So thank you so much for the introduction. And hello, everybody. I am really, really happy to be here. Before we jump in, yeah, we all know that it can be really frustrating or it can be really a big work like creating content on any social media because most times it's like it feels like you're shouting right into the void. You post, you wait, you refresh your page over and over and over again, and it's almost always cricket. And the truth is it's almost not always about luck or the algorithm. It's about strategy, it's about storytelling, it's about consistency. um, One thing that I would like to start with is I would like to start with a question. And if you guys could just type it in the comment section, who or what does it mean to be a master? What does it actually mean to be a master? Or who do we call a master or something? Okay, so thank you, Ayomide. He said, or she said, I don't know if it's a girl. Forgive me. So he says to be mastermind of something means you're very good at something. So a master now is ideally not just anyone who knows a skill. It's someone who has been consistent, right, and intentional, and knows why they are doing something. So you have to have purpose in order to go on. And for any social media platform, LinkedIn that we're talking of today, you have to literally know patterns. You have to have practiced through mistakes. You have to have refined your processes again and again and again. So let's take a sport like Taekwondo. You just don't wake up tomorrow and you are a black belt. Yeah. You'll walk over and over and over, and you'd have competitions that you have to go in order to actually earn yourself that reputation. So I'm just going to start by sharing my slide. 1 minute. So it's right here. Sorry. Switch. Okay. Um, just a minute. Just a wee minute though. Yeah. Thank you. So, can you all see my slide? Okay. Thank you. So I have started on with asking what it means to be a master, right? What does it mean to be a master at anything? So, just 1 minute. The topic today is mastering content creation on LinkedIn. and it's how to build your personal brand and engage meaningfully. We all know that LinkedIn is one of the most powerful platforms, professional platforms that you can be on. And for you to be on any platforms, you have to understand what goes on behind the scenes to actually make, a great post, to make you well celebrated, to make you maybe like the number one on, let's say, health nutrition in Africa on LinkedIn. So you would have to know that there's energy and there's consistency and there's intentionality that you have to put in to become a master at content creation on LinkedIn, right? And whenever you start thinking of content creation, you have to think of who you are first. So I can't just start a content and I don't know anything about it, or I can't just start posting about random things I know nothing about. Probably maybe you're in the news, but I would still want to believe that you know a bit or two about it before you start posting. So I'm a digital marketer, yeah, and I make posts about literally sometimes my everyday life, what I'm learning on my job and whatnot. So those are like some of the strategies that I would have to like literally know. I have to put them upstairs before I just decide that, okay, I'm going to put it out there. Because you can't just go and just rant about every and any other thing. So going forward, to the next slide, just a minute. So okay, my cursor is quite fast, so I'll have to be gentle with it. So, why does LinkedIn matter? LinkedIn has about 700 million global members worldwide. It has 80% B2B. And if we know B2B, B2B is business to business leads. So if you are in a business that usually provides services or provide products for other businesses, LinkedIn is a place to be. And another would be it is one of the most trusted professional platforms, second to maybe Threads and X, but mostly LinkedIn is all about profession. And if, for instance, you are already going on or you already post content on, let's say, Facebook, or you post content on Instagram, you kind of one thing I want you to know right now is that the tone and the messaging that usually goes for post on these platforms most times are not really, it's not the same with LinkedIn. So you have to craft your post in a way that shows your speciality and shows that you know your onions, right? So that's why LinkedIn matters. LinkedIn matters because it makes you a personal brand. Do you know that if you have a good LinkedIn platform, like literally you have a good LinkedIn platform, when people search you up on, let's say, any of the chat GPTs now, or any of the large language models, or even search you on Google, like you most times your LinkedIn profile comes up. So LinkedIn is also like a website. Like, not a website is obviously what you have on Google, but like website, LinkedIn can be your own personal website because people can reference you. Then imagine when you apply for a job, and this was something very recent I found out. Do you know that employees can literally just go on, not just on your LinkedIn, but they can type on ChatGPT, take for instance, and then they can kind of weigh the employees as to the people that are, sorry, the applicants. They weigh let's say they have five applicants, they weigh the applicants and they are able to then know who is the best for their role. And from there, that can even assist them in their hiring process. And LinkedIn is one platform that would help you to make sure that you stand out among the crowd and to make sure that something you're doing actually leads to something. Most times, we want to grow in our career, we want to network, we want to have business development and all those things. And LinkedIn is a place where you can build your platform. So this is a very simple guide to creating a post on LinkedIn. I can show you maybe after now, but I have this as one of the main guide for creating LinkedIn. So we all know that when you go on LinkedIn, like on any other social media, you start to post and you create like a post. You add your images if you want to, you can add PDFs, you can add documents, and then you craft your caption. That's your message. What value or what insight are you trying to say? Would this resonate with your audience? And then you add your visuals and then you publish and you schedule, right? And then this is the main conversation we're meant to be having today, which is the four content pillars. And in creating your branding. I mentioned earlier that you have to know who you are and what service or what product you want to sell, right? For instance, I'm a digital marketer. The best thing I could position myself is, oh, I'm a digital marketer that probably has a specialty in SEO, or I have a specialty in building websites, website development. I have a specialty in branding. That means making sure a brand stands out. So let's take, for instance, a brand like Nike. If you hear "Just Do It," it's written everywhere. You know that that is Nike because that's their brand. They have the trademark. They have the trade logo, which is like just the OK sign, the tick sign, and that shows you that that is a brand, right? But in creating content for LinkedIn, you have to have diverse content types, and predominantly we have four pillars which can help you to balance strategy that educate, inspire, and motivate. So the one would be educational content. So when you take educational content, you know that you can share valuable tips, industry insight, breaking news. You can position yourself as someone who knows what's going on in your field, so you can do how to do. So for instance, now you make shoes. Let's take for instance, far from digital marketing, you make shoes and you want to have a LinkedIn presence. What would your how to do be? Would be like, oh, how do I make a shoe on a normal day? Or what are my motivations for why I make my shoe? What makes my shoe more different? Then for industry insight and analysis, or industry trends, sorry, analysis, it would be all around what shoes are being made and how are they being made. Like if you take a look maybe down 50 to 100 years back, these were the types of shoes and these were the type of soles we use on shoes. Yeah. But this day today, 2025, the 21st century, this has changed. And so this is where we are, and this is what makes us better, or this is what makes our shoes better than other shoes. Another will be expert tips. So you could also give expert tips still on the shoes, on how to clean your shoes, or how to make sure you take out the funk from your shoes when you wear it, how to make sure you elongate the lifespan of your shoe, right? So that is for expert tips and using the example of a shoemaker on LinkedIn. Another will be inspirational post. And inspirational post can be through personal stories, your achievements, your motivations. Sometimes you could even just see a quote, and that quote maybe like talks to you, or you found some sort of inspiration, and because of that, you want to share it with other people. You want people to know that, okay, I've seen this motivational quote and I really, really like it. And this is what stood out to me. And this is what lesson I'm taking from this quote. And in so doing, you're also boosting somebody's day, and you're making somebody feel motivated. Most motivational posts mostly is like on a Monday morning, because we all know that when you wake up on a Monday morning, it's like, oh God, it's another week again. We start the work all again, and people just want a boost. People just want to feel like, oh, okay, I can do this. It's another day, but I don't have to look at it's another week, sorry, and I don't want to look at it in despair. So you could create personal success story. So if I'm still allowed to use the shoe example, right? You could use personal stories like, okay, what was your motivation for starting the shoe business? Who spoke to you? Who did you see making shoe that really inspired you to do that? And some of the lessons, what were the mistakes you've done? People resonate more with things that they can actually relate to. So what mistake did I learn, or what mistake do you learn when you are trying to start up the business and whatnot? So you're providing like industry insight, you're providing professional knowledge. And that in so doing, you're giving people information that they can use in their own journey. Another will be community engagement. So you have to foster connection and dialogue, right? And in fostering connection and dialogue, you can use polls, you can use survey, you can use thought-provoking questions. You could celebrate teams and pair wins. That means if you have people that are working with you in your company, you have people that are working with you in a team, you have people that are working with you. Let's say, for instance, in the past, you're just a student, yeah? And you guys had a presentation and you guys presented something, and You can have a post celebrating your teammates for everything they've done, for the person that did the presentation, for all of you that came together to actually craft the presentation and whatnot. So those are things you could do to that is one of the content pillars for successful LinkedIn presence for content. Yeah. Another would be the promotional content. And promotional content is still rallying back to the shoe. The shoe is your product. So if you have a new style of shoe coming out, we could have a product and service launch, which can be a post on LinkedIn. And if you have an opportunity that you want people to come and learn, you want to come people to come and learn how to make shoes, or have a look at your business and how far you've gone, all these are contents that you can have on your LinkedIn page. Another would be your company milestones. So let's say the company is celebrating 5 years or 10 years of being in existence. Those are content pillars that you can create on LinkedIn. So building your calendar is very important. I'm very sorry for how this slide looked. I downloaded it on to from another platform to slide, and it kind of messed things up, and I didn't have a look around it before now. So sorry for that. But I think it's quite clear and you can see my screen. So another one would be build your content calendar. So I talked on the 4 content pillars that you have to have. Have them at the back of your head when you want to create content on any social media platform, not just LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is our primary focus today. So building a content calendar is very important. Why? Is because what does a calendar help you do? Ideally, a calendar would show you that, okay, I have a meeting by 10, I have this on a Friday, I have meeting with my friends on a Saturday, I have a coffee date. So it keeps you on track. So when you look at your calendar, you're able to pick out, okay, this is what I need to do, and then it helps you to plan ahead. So planning ahead also helps you to reduce stress, and also helps you that your content would have higher quality, right? So you can plan based on your time schedule, but I would advise that you plan mostly weekly or monthly. And if you give yourself that sort of structure, you find out that you are more intentional about posting online, and also more intentional about the kind of content you actually create to post online. So in building your content calendar, you have to, one, map out topics. So you have to align your teams to the content pillars I mentioned earlier. You have to know what type of content goes on what day, obviously based on how you feel about what you're going to post. And you have to make sure that you post strategically. So most times on LinkedIn, I know that most people would say, oh, I don't have time. Every day I wake up, I need to write a post. And it can be very overwhelming because we have our lives, we have all our busy lives going on. And if you can't carve out time to do LinkedIn, it can be a very good excuse, but it's not actually an excuse, because if you're intentional about a Friday after work, or a Saturday in the afternoon when you have an hour to spare, you could sit down and just write something for the whole week, and you have that. And if you want, you could schedule them for the whole 1 week, or you could just do 3 days at least. LinkedIn says the best is to have at least 3 posts per week. So if you don't want to do the whole days, you could do 3, so that you cut yourself some slacks and don't have to put so much pressure on yourself. But one thing also I'd have to mention, which I would think I'll speak further in the slide, would be that whenever you're planning your content doesn't start at day one. You don't just sit down at the table and say, oh, what am I posting today? Most times when you're going through life, or when something stands out to you, what I would advise is to have a book, right? Have a book where you write down things as they come. So let's take, for instance, I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see a quote, and I really do like the quote and it spoke to me. I can jot down that quote in my book, or jot it down on Google Drive or any of your online note taker. And then you have that as one of the content you can create, right? And maybe you see someone else's post that you kind of like and you want to remake in your own way. You can save that. And you so doing, when you now sit down and in that 1 hour on a Saturday to create your post, you have ideas already on ground to work on. So you don't need to crack your head so much about, oh, what am I posting, or what am I writing about, or what pictures am I taking? And yes, take your pictures a whole lot. Just document your life as they come. Take pictures when you're working in your classroom, if you can, with your mates. Take pictures if there's somebody, maybe who went for an event. Take pictures. Take pictures of the things you're making. Take pictures of, let's take a graphic designer. If you make a graphic design and you really like it would be good to even have a video, but you can take a picture, right? And then going further is I would like to ask a question and I want you guys to drop it in the comment section. What industry or role are you in? And what content ideas can you think under the four content pillars I'd mentioned? Just a break. Like this would be for like just 3 minutes. You can drop in the comments, please. I would appreciate that. Okay, so Joseph Yahya said social worker. So under the content pillars, is there anything that you think you can make, you can create as a content, you can have as a content on your LinkedIn profile? Or better still, can you just tell me a bit about what you do as a social worker? What type of social work do you do? And then from there, I could give more. I could give more examples of like content you can create as a social worker under that. Okay. Thank you, Joseph. So the educational content and the expert tips. Thank you. So you're going to educate, that means you're saying you're going to educate people about who you are as a social worker, what is the work of the social worker, how your everyday is, and probably, yeah, expert tips. Thank you. Another would be Abraham Simon, and he says development strategies. So if I'll ask you what is a development strategies, that is also one content you can actually have on your LinkedIn, because you don't think people know who you are. You don't think people know what a social worker is. We hear words every day. Sometimes we don't know. So another content would be who is a development strategist, and then explain who you are, or what work, who a development strategy is, and what work you do, and how this contributes to the overall, what landscape of work. UI UX design. Who's a UI UX designer? I see a lot of them on Pinterest. So you could also take inspiration from Pinterest. I would drop in that in the comments. Go on Pinterest, you'll find a lot of graphic designs, a lot of graphic codes. You could find post ideas and everything, a lot of them on Pinterest. Okay, fashion designer. A fashion designer, I think this is also very good because you would have to be very creative. Like obviously you make clothes, right? And you make clothes, people want to know what is the process that goes into making this. What even inspired your creativity to make this kind of dress? What inspired it? And then what are the business challenges you face as a fashion designer and stuff like that. And those are things you can actually put online. A voice actor. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I'll just go back very, very fast to the slide. Thank you so much for all those that participated. So another the next thing I'll be talking of is mastering LinkedIn scheduling tools. So one thing you should know is strategic timing can dramatically increase your post visibility. So most times you have to really, really know what are firstly, you have to know how many people are following you. And then you can know the demographics of these people following you. Who are these people? What do they like? Are they ages 25 to 24, 24 to 30? Are they school students? Are they people that are just starting out in their jobs and stuff? Maybe they just graduated university, masters, and they're working. And in so doing, you're able to know what time they're active online so that you can be able to, like you can be able to publish at the right time. LinkedIn has a native scheduler, and that's one thing I would advise you to use. Why? Because if, for instance, let's take, for instance, you have posts already, you have like 3 posts for the week. I wouldn't want to wake up on a Wednesday morning and, oh, I have a post to make, and then I go to work and I have like 10,000 things to do. and then I don't have time, and then it just slides through. So if you can schedule it on LinkedIn, or you could use third party tools. But LinkedIn, I would advise, is that it's simple, it's free, and it's integrated. So you could just simply use it. Schedule your post for the week, schedule your post for the month, and so on and so on. And then you have to also look for optimal time for posting. And the secret to this is usually for you to try. There's a lot of trial and error in content creation and making sure that you get the right timing for your content. So most times you have to look at weekdays, Mondays, 8 to 10 in the morning. That's when people are like starting their days, or you could do evening, 4 p.m. to 6. That's when people are kind of retiring and just wanting to scroll through to, while away time. So you have to know that. And other third party tools I'd mentioned here are Buffer, Hootsuite. Those ones are mostly paid for, but they also include analytics and stuff like that that can help you in managing. Let's say you have 5 platforms: LinkedIn, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have Threads, you have all those platforms help you to manage that. So I'll be showing you how to access the LinkedIn scheduling tool. I'll just show that briefly so you know that it's there and you can actually use it if you didn't know. So the next thing I'll be talking of is overcoming your content creation fear. I know that the journey of putting yourself out there can be very intimidating. Was because you kind of see people that already have been doing this and they're already so good. Like they're getting like 1,000 likes, they're getting like 500 likes, and you post and you have just one person, your best friend probably, liking the post. It can be very, very intimidating, and it can even make you want to like just hide yourself and not want to show yourself out. But you have to accept that you will be rejected and people will criticize you. Accept that. When you accept that, then maybe the fear will kind of while away. You kind of know that all those people that started, as I started, who is a master? A master is someone that does things over and over and over and over again. So they fall, but they rise. So they have to keep going, because if you then decide to stop, then it's kind of very bad. It's for you, because no one is going to say, no one's going to look at you and say, oh, you stopped. It's not like, it's you that at the end of the day, when you take a look at yourself 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, you regret your actions. So people that stick it out are the people that actually get something ongoing. So you have to start small, start with personal, authentic posts. Remember that you are unique, and whatever journey you're on is actually unique. Your perspective is actually valued. And even if it's just one person that reads your post and it adds to their day, or it adds to whatever they're doing, I think you are doing something right. So you have to keep on. Before people finally rally around you, you have to be great. Yeah. But becoming great is how you have to make sure you master everything to get to the hilltop, right? So the action step I have here is begin with a simple introduction post. Start with who you are, who am I, and then you can also use ChatGPT, all those large language models, to kind of look for who you are. Talk to it. Record your voice telling it, this is who I am, this is what I do. Can you give me ideas on what sort of post would make me stand out or make me do well on LinkedIn? And these platforms, these AI tools, they kind of help a whole lot. They kind of reduce a whole lot of work for everyone. So if you do that, you can be able to get ideas, and then from there you build on the ideas. One thing I would advise though is, when you create a post by yourself, you run it through AI, make sure that it has your voice. Make sure it doesn't sound robotic. Make sure it doesn't just give you what it is. And giving you what it is because probably you don't know how to prompt, which is a whole different topic entirely. But make sure that you kind of put in your thing or two to make it your own, not just the AI, what ChatGPT gives you. The second, with perfectionism paralysis. Sometimes we think our posts have to be perfect. All you need is to be real. You need to be consistent, and then you need to make sure that you're authentic in what you do. So you don't need to have a polished, perfect post. And I'm telling you, when you start doing it for 5 to 3 to 5 days to a month to 2 months to 3 months, you find out that it becomes easier and you're kind of finding your grounds. And don't get me wrong, you might not get exactly what you're all about, but then with time you're able to actually go into this because you kind of have done it over and you found out that this is what you like doing, this is what you like talking about, right? But you have to also know that the thing you're putting out is knowledgeable. Another would be running out of content idea. As I said, you have to make sure you keep that book. And as you go to work, as you engage with people, someone said something that really stood out to you, write that down and you have yourself a post. And if that person is okay, you can even tag the person that, oh, this person said this when we were talking and it really stood out to me. And this is why it stood out to me. In so doing, you're actually also promoting that person and also promoting yourself, and showing that you're not alone in your cubicle. Like you're not just alone. Everyone is there. Make sure you tag people as you go too. And then if you have old work that you've done, something you've learned along the way, you can repurpose them. You can do throwbacks too. Don't just make it every day, but you could also do throwbacks to things that you've done before and the lessons you learned. And then you could also go online and ask, what are the questions that people are frequently asking in my field? What are the questions that people are frequently asking on UI UX design? And so doing, you keep a running list of ideas. I also did not mention you can use your phone. You can just open a notebook, a note app in your phone. Just type it, keep it 1, 2, 3, keep them. And so when you sit on a Saturday to create your post, I'm just using an example for someone that works like 5 days a week. You sit on a Saturday to then create your post, you have a lot of ideas to pick from. And so you are not out of ideas and you're not thinking, oh, I have to be inspired before I do this. Okay, so going on to the next is the best practices now. Best practices. I'm sorry for my cursor is quite fast. So best practices for LinkedIn success would be building your LinkedIn presence goes beyond posting. You have to, one, create meaningful connections. You have to establish lasting credibility in your professional field. So one thing I would note here, or I would also have to mention, is there are a lot of groups on particular fields that are on LinkedIn. Join those groups. And if those groups allow you to contribute to write things, do that. Build connection. When you see someone make a post and that post kind of speaks to you, you agree with the post, you found value in the post, don't shy away from commenting, because commenting helps you too. As much as it helps the other person that's posting, it helps you too, because it puts you out there. People can just go on and they're scrolling through comment and they see your comment and they click into your profile, and from there it can be a relationship builder. And even for the person you're commenting on, it's a two-way symbiosis. So you are also growing and the person is also growing, and you guys are kind of creating like a good networking thing that you can use along the way. It's going to be so out of place if you don't know anyone and you've not tried to, like, engage with your post to kind of make post about them and even get them to come under your post to actually comment. So it's a good thing to engage, let them know you, to set the grounds for that. And I think that goes on in every aspect of our lives. When you want people to do something with you, you want people to believe in your goals, believe in your values, or believe in what you do, you have to make sure that you create that room. You don't become an enigma, you're just on your own posting things. You can do that, people do that, but then before you get there, people need to really know that this is what you do and this is how you do it. Yeah. And so one thing is be authentic. So make sure that your genuine personality shines through your content, engage meaningfully. Make sure you respond to comment on your posts, you like on your comment on other people. Engagement, as I say, is a two-way street that builds long-lasting relationship. The last would be staying consistent. Create a realistic posting schedule and commit to it. If you're going to post 3 times a day, do that. If you're going to post 5 times a day, do that. If you're going to post, don't make the algorithm confused. You're here today, you're not here today. Just stick to your creation and make sure that regular visibility keeps you top of mind with your network, right? Because if you are not online, then you are easily forgotten, right? So I thank you so much for the attention. um I'll take questions and then I'll use 3 minutes to just show you how to use your LinkedIn scheduler on LinkedIn. And I want you to just share with me your challenges, ask your questions, and just explore how you can take your content creation to the next level. And then also don't forget to follow me, but I would show you on LinkedIn afterwards. So if you have any questions, please just drop them in the comments. I think I am way above time. So we have to make that very fast. Thank you so much, goodness. If you're not online, you're easily forgotten. Thank you. So any questions? Hello, Peas. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, so I think no questions. Or if you okay. Okay, so I think I'm getting a bit here. So I don't have questions now. You can continue, please. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so one question here is okay, analysis and how it work. So I would show you that too. I would just write that down, jot that down, and I can show you. But analysis work in such a way that you find out that you see your reach. So how far is your post being seen? Your impressions. That means how many people, how many new people, how many unique people are seeing your post. And then you can see how many people, let's take for instance, you posted a document, how many people clicked into it. Some people also have, if you go through LinkedIn, if you're on LinkedIn, you find out that people post document that um you have to click unlock and maybe probably add your email, your name, and whatnot. And in so doing, what they're trying to do is just gather data for themselves. So if you put in your contact there, that means they can be able to easily reach you using that data. So before you do that, you can download, I think, HubSpot and other main social media, or maybe like marketing, the marketing or media or medical device. They do that a lot. So I can show you how you can then use analysis. Now with AI, I think you can literally do anything. The sky is your limit because you can just go on your LinkedIn, check your analytics, and then when you see your analysis, you're able to then download it and then ask ChatGPT, "What am I doing good?" Or you can tell ChatGPT to actually interpret the analytics for you so that you're able to understand how you can post better. Another would be what will be the limitations for a brand ambassador? Limitations in what sense of the word? I don't really understand, but if I get that right, is what can stop you from, or what can limit your success on LinkedIn? Is that what that question is? What can limit your success on LinkedIn, if that is the question? And if I'm wrong, please, you can retype your question. But what can limit your success on LinkedIn would be that you don't put yourself so much out there that people don't know you. So brand ambassadors are, you can find a brand ambassador that has like 5 brands that he or she is working with, right? And obviously you sign agreements. So there are some brands that would not want you to be all public. You just want to use you, or they want you to promote their their product without any addition to who you are. But you have to make sure that you are actually online. For someone that's just starting out, people have to know you, that you are someone that is in this field. Probably you're in the advertising field, more like a brand ambassador right now. So what does it take to be a brand ambassador? What does you could ask even ChatGPT, what are some things that can help me to stand out in my job as a brand ambassador online? So people to know that okay, I can be an ambassador. And for you to be an ambassador, for to be honest, I think you have to have grown to a particular stage, because people all those brands out there want to work with people that know that people already follow them. So how do you get there? Obviously, you have to put yourself out. People need to know you. And then from there, you can get people, you can get brands reaching out to you and saying, okay, we have this. Can you help us promote? Or can you say something about it? Because and then they pay you, which is like your job. But before you get to that stage, and then when you are then a brand ambassador, you're all about promoting the brands you work with and also talking about who you are, what you do, personal experiences and stuff like that. So yeah. So my question is, I have a LinkedIn account created while I was learning cybersecurity, which have several posts and connection of about 2K. I later diversify into data analytics due to resource unavailability. I revamped this LinkedIn to data and deleted my previous cybersecurity posts. Since then, my posts have really lost engagement, although have connected to over 150 connection in data. What should I do in order to make this account work? Okay, diversification is a very, very dicey thing, but it's doable. People revamp themselves every day. But one thing I want to state out to you right now is why you're getting that low engagement is because you find out that a lot of people that maybe had followed you previously while you were doing cyber security were also in your field. So if people are in your field, they can easily relate to posts you make in that field. But then maybe people that are then if when you now change fields and they can't really relate to it, then you can have a drop in engagement. But what I advise you to do is keep at it and also make sure you connect with people that are in data analytics field. Make sure you make posts about that and also connect with people in that field. Take I would believe you're working, yeah. And if you're working and you go to the office, right? You have people that are in that data analysis field with you. And if they're also on LinkedIn, that helps because you could make posts, you could tag them. And if they were there already 10 years, 5 years, they've been working all their lives in data analytics, it kind of helps you because 2P2, you get impressions from both sides. So that means your impressions from his or her followers and your own followers. So I would say you have to keep at it and just make sure that because algorithm is what works on LinkedIn, and sometimes it can be very tricky to actually understand really. But I think for the first issue would be obviously you were known for one thing, and the people that had followed you because of cybersecurity, and now that you are now a data analyst, maybe there's no coloration. So maybe one of the posts you can also be making is how you've changed from this field to this field. Start with that, introduce yourself all over again. Tell them about how you were cybersecurity, tell them about what you're doing right now as data analytics, but you just have to keep going in order to get some sort of momentum. I hope that answers your question. So, what type of content can an organization like Toko Academy post to grow her LinkedIn space? So, Toko Academy, it's an educational site, and a lot of times I did not mention that, and thank you for that question again. We know that videos are doing so much on LinkedIn, on all social media platforms. So using videos, using real life people, getting feedback from people that are on LinkedIn. Take for instance now, you guys do the coding for children, right? You have a coding for children and their parents actually sign up for that. So you could have a Q&A, you could have like an interview, question and answer with one of the parents. That is on LinkedIn, hopefully. And then with so doing, you're able to post about that. But videos actually increase engagement. Another one is carousels, and carousels are obviously those posts that you create that kind of swipes through. So that would be under types of posts, right? Types of posts. You have picture posts, picture format, you have carousels, you have documents, you have PDFs, you have all those things. So you could create educational carousels. And since it's an academy and you guys do a lot of things, you have to make sure that these carousels are very engaging. Use a lot of good colors, image, text. Let it just captivate so people can swipe to, because carousels also do very, very well on LinkedIn. And then you could just do image, you have events, post about your event, and please be consistent, because a company growing and an individual growing is two different things. And a company growing sometimes can be very good because you have maybe people that are working under that company already, following that company. And if, let's say, you have 10 employees and all those 10 employees are on LinkedIn and three of the employees have about 3,000 followers, that actually helps your reach. So, and another thing you could do is also invite people to connect and involve people in conversation. I feel like conversation and making sure that you are known is very important. Engage with people, talk, comment, do all those things. Go under other companies' posts that do literally the same thing, or they have a need or something that you can provide, and comment on their post. In so doing, it's not a 1 day thing. It's like a month, sometimes a year before you kind of see like a huge growth. Sometimes you can have, just in a week, you can have like 50 people follow you. Another week, you have one person. So that's just literally how the algorithm works. But it favors when you kind of know that this is what you're doing and this is what you're doing over time. So it doesn't confuse. So for content, for like, you could do interviews, as I mentioned, videos, you could make carousels of educational content. You could, you know, have carousels on the people that work in Toko Academy. So employees, you can highlight them. Highlight your employer, highlight your company culture, highlight all those things. I think there's a lot of content you could post. And those are just a few that I can give you right now. So so s- uh okay, since then my post, okay. Since then, my post has really lost engagement, although I have connected to over 150 in data. Okay, what should I do in order to make this account work? What you can do, as I would say, is to keep posting. And maybe you're posting in a vacuum, maybe you're posting in a silo. So it's very, very necessary that you engage with people. Have a post a day that mentions someone, and mention someone that's actually doing well in that field, and someone that obviously you've grown a relationship with. Don't be all clingy with someone that you don't really know. Or sometimes you can, but in a different way. Maybe you kind of look up to this person, and the person is not even someone that can respond to your message if you message him. But making a post about that person and how his journey has inspired you can actually help you too. And I know you're a data analyst, but there is you and there's your job, and you can separate the two too. So you can post also about what you do, your own challenges and stuff like that, and also add on to the data, to the job you're doing. So I think uh, okay. And another would be, is it possible to have a LinkedIn profile that reflect different things you do and not just, yes, it is, but it has to kind of sync, because if you're everywhere, then you're nowhere. We all do that. You can't be a doctor, and you can be a doctor and a designer, yes, but it's very tricky. Like, it's very tricky. You can be a doctor and you like photography, but you have to make sure you niche down, and you niche down to at least two or three. Don't have seven things you like, because even me, I had that issue, or I'll still have that issue. I know a lot of things and I love a lot of things, and I like to post about a lot of things, but it doesn't help. You could bring in those other things you do as part of your personal experience post, as part of all those inspirational posts, but don't make it all about that, because you're going to kind of confuse the people following you, confuse your algorithm, and then you then tend not to even connect more with people that's, like, can actually make your profile grow, your engagement. So niche down, meet down. Don't be more than two, three things that you like, and they should kind of sync. That's the word. So LinkedIn newsletter and post is really necessary because to some extent I forget about actually posting the schedule and you need all. Shengun and Kevin, you need all. LinkedIn newsletter is when you have kind of grown. No, it's something you can start today. Don't get me wrong. But most times the idea is for you to have had a couple of engagement on your normal post to actually be able to create a newsletter that people would jump up to. Because Newton newsletter works different. It's just like you, someone gives you his or her email. But in that situation, you don't have the email physically, right? So you have you don't have the email physically. So LinkedIn, what they do is when you have a newsletter up and people have signed up, if you have like 5 people that have signed up, they then receive an email that your newsletter is on. If you get my point. So it's very, very important that you focus on building relationships with your post. And then people can actually relate to your newsletters and then sign up, which would hopefully grow your engagement then. Okay? I hope I answered your question well, Shegun. Thank you. So is there any other questions or do we just move on to the next so I can quickly show you guys how to use the scheduling and hopefully also just 1 minute, stop sharing. Also connect you guys to my YouTube page. So I do digital marketing. I teach a bit about digital marketing on YouTube. So it would be good if you guys follow me, connect with me. I'll appreciate that too. Okay, is there any other questions? No? All right. If you do have any questions, you can shoot me a message also on LinkedIn and I'll do well to answer you. I would also drop I'll also drop my YouTube page. And if you do have anything I could make a video about so that I can hold your hand, and Daniel earlier mentioned on I can hold your hand and show you exactly what you do, right? So I'm going to just share my screen right now. I'll share my screen right now to show you how you can use your LinkedIn scheduling. So here we go. Um, okay, can we all see my screen? Yes? A thumbs up, please, if you can see my screen. Thank you. All right. So I am currently on my LinkedIn page. And how you see or how you get to use your scheduling is to just start a post right now. Start a post. And when you start a post, you come down here to the right hand side, and then there's like a clock button. So you can then schedule your post for later. So you could pick the date. So today is Thursday and it's the 23rd. It's already way past 11:12. So if you pick this today, you would have the time just after 12:30 as the first time slot. But let's take, for instance, you pick Friday. You would be able to pick specific days that you can post, specific time, sorry, that you can post. So you can see that you can post here. You can schedule your post for 8 or 9, and then you go next. So now you see it up here, posting Friday, October 24th at 9 a.m. And then you can write the post and then you can just schedule. So let's say, mm, um, so this, and then you can see that when you've written something, you can then schedule. And when you click on the schedule, it just goes on. So how then would you see your schedule post? I'm going to show you that again. So just not to confuse you, you close this down. And do you want to save it? I'm going to delete this because I'm just trying to show you. You can start a post right here, and then you can go to schedule for letter, and then you can see view all scheduled posts. If you click on view all scheduled posts, you can see that all the posts that you have scheduled will show up here. And if you click on these buttons right now, you can post immediately, you can modify schedule, you can edit the post. If you had something that you have written and you want to arrange it, or you want to put it better, you can edit it, or you can delete the post. But one thing I have to tell you is that if you add images, it will be hard for you to edit images. So the only thing is make sure you get your images right, or else you would have to delete the whole post and start all over again, right? So that is how you use your scheduling, right? So another would be if you go into your profile right here, you are able to see your analytics. So when you click on your analytics, you're able to see how many posts, how many actions you're able to do, and you're able to see your post impressions, and then you're able to export it. If you come to the right hand corner on the top, you can export it. When you export it, you can take it down to ChatGPT and then ask it to tell you what's doing well. And then it should even show you your top performing posts and the impressions per se. And with so doing, you're able to know what you should post, what time is better, and what not. So in so doing, you have to test over time. I have to at least have a month worth data for you to be able to get good data to use from your LinkedIn. I think that is everything about that. If there's any other thing that you want me to show directly, I can do that right now. Is there any other thing? Okay. I think we are done. Thank you so much for all of you that stayed the course and for joining today. I really appreciate it. So I would be handing over, stop presenting, and I'll be handing over to Peace. Thank you so much. Okay, someone is raising his hand. Or okay. Do you have something to say? You can unmute yourself if you want. I think I'll hand over to Peace. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Beautiful. That was an amazing session. Thank you so much for sharing. I believe that a lot of us have taken a point or two, and I'll be sharing a link briefly. We're just
Sorry.
going to fill it because, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. One last thing. There was a question here from a way to, she was raising her hand, or he was raising his hand. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's the girl. Forgive me. You guys are not on video. So he said, what does writing article means? Writing articles on LinkedIn, you mean? So writing articles, just like you writing a news story, right? So it's if you click on write story, it's just like how you go on the website. If you have any prior knowledge of website, when you want to write a blog post, that's just writing articles. That's LinkedIn version of writing articles. So you can write an article as a post, and then you can then have another newsletter, which is also written almost like an article, if that answers your question. So if you have a blog post, for instance, now people do that. I can have a blog post on how to use LinkedIn for content, for how to use LinkedIn for LinkedIn strategy for growth or something. And then I can have a whole articles with images, with links and whatnot. So just like any website. Because if you go on Google and ask what is LinkedIn or what's the best platform to use. It gives you an article, it gives you Instagram, it gives you all those, and then you can literally click into those links, and then you see all those platforms that you can use. That is just how to write an article. So think website, articles, and LinkedIn articles. Same thing, just that you are then using it on your own personal profile, not on any website. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for participating, everyone. Thank you for your questions and your comments. Please fill out the form. The form will be used to generate your certificates. So please do well to fill them out. I'll hand over to Mr. Daniel. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure.
This has been an amazing session. So, on behalf of Toko Academy, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to you, Pitbull, for an inspiring and insightful session on mastering content creation on LinkedIn. Your energy, your expertise, your passion for empowering others through what you know, your knowledge, truly made this webinar impactful. Thank you for reminding us about the authenticity, consistency, and creativity um, around LinkedIn content, and how that they are the real keys to building meaningful personal brands and professional connections online. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, your time, your wisdom with our community. We look forward to more collaborations and opportunities to learn from you again. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody else who has been a part of this meeting. Some have left already, I'm sure. But for the rest of us who are still here, thank you for being a part of this. I'm sure you learned something meaningful. And I hope that you do use what you've learned from here, put it into practice. And I hope it gives you the results that you so desire for your personal and professional lives as well. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead. We'll be making some posts about this webinar. We might have a rebroadcast soon. So for those who might want to have the opportunity of joining that, please stay tuned in your emails. I'm sure you'll get an email from us very soon. Thank you and have an amazing, amazing day ahead. Bye bye.
Slash. So long. Bye.
Bye.